What if the pain you've been trying to fix isn't the problem at all? What if it's the message? What if your body has been speaking a secret language all along, trying to wake you up, not to illness, but to truth? What if everything you felt, suffered, and carried in silence has actually been pointing you to a hidden code meant to unlock the healing you've been searching for? You didn't just happen to arrive here. You were led, because deep within you, something is stirring and knowing. A whisper. You're not here to escape the pain. You're here to understand it, to finally see that it was never random, that it was never a curse. It was the beginning of your return, the signal that something ancient, something sacred, is reactivating inside you. This isn't about medicine or magic. It's not about fixing symptoms. It's about remembering a frequency that was hidden from the world for centuries, a living vibration sealed into the fabric of your being by Thoth, the master of ancient knowledge. He didn't write it in books. He imprinted it in the field, a code that doesn't operate through words or logic, but through energy, through resonance. And that code is waking up in you now. This vibration doesn't reach everyone. It won't activate in people who are constantly distracted, numb, or disconnected from their inner world. It only moves through those who are still enough to feel, who are willing to face what's underneath the surface. Because before it heals, it clears. Before it soothes, it reveals. It breaks open the lies you've been living under. It brings to light the emotions you've buried for years. It doesn't ask for your comfort. It demands your truth. And that's why it was hidden for so long. Because humanity wasn't ready. But now, something is shifting. We're remembering what the ancients always knew, that the body is not just flesh. It's a reflection. It's a mirror of the vibration you carry. Every pain, every illness, every strange sensation, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's your body translating what your soul has been trying to say. The truth is, your body has always been trying to communicate. It speaks through discomfort, tightness, fatigue, inflammation. These signals aren't the problem. They're the messages, the final echoes of a vibration that started long before. And it didn't begin in your muscles or your bones. It began in your mind, in your thoughts, in the emotions you couldn't process, in the pain you had no words for. And when that vibration isn't acknowledged, expressed, or released, it doesn't go away. It travels. It settles. It waits until your body, faithful and honest, finally says what you couldn't. Thoth understood this. He said the body is the echo of the soul, a mirror of what lives in the invisible field of your being. The physical is never the origin. It's the final translation. And if all you ever do is treat the symptom, you'll never hear what your soul is really trying to say. For centuries, modern medicine saw the body as a machine. If something broke, you fixed it like a part. But as more and more people got sick without explanation, normal tests, normal scans, but unbearable symptoms, science was forced to look deeper. That's when they began to touch what the ancients already knew. There's an invisible force behind every organ, every cell, every system, a vibrational field, an energetic blueprint that governs everything. Emotions are not just feelings. They are frequencies. They are chemistry, biochemistry. Repressed anger doesn't disappear. It circulates through your body, activating stress hormones, tensing muscles, changing how you sleep, how you heal, how you feel. Anxiety floods your system with adrenaline, even when there's no threat. Grief weakens your immunity. Guilt shifts your pH balance. Shame cuts off your breath. These aren't just metaphors. They are measurable. They're being tracked by machines, monitors, sensors. But Thoth didn't need any of that. He felt it. He knew that every emotion, when ignored, leaves behind a residue in the body. And when enough residue builds, it becomes illness. It becomes pain. It becomes dis-ease. And yet, most people never learn to read this. They chase the surface. They blame genetics, fate, bad luck. But the truth is often far simpler and far deeper. The body is translating the vibration you've been carrying silently, day after day, year after year. Every time you felt something deeply and didn't express it, it didn't disappear. It stored. It built. It waited until the body had no choice but to speak. And that's why symptoms often feel sudden. But they're not sudden. They're the conclusion of a silent buildup of energy. That's why healing doesn't start by fighting pain. It starts by listening to it. When you understand this, everything changes. Pain stops being the enemy. It becomes the teacher. Your body stops being the battlefield. It becomes the map. Every ache, every illness, every imbalance. It's not a failure. It's guidance. It's your soul telling you where your energy is stuck, where a memory is frozen, where your truth is suffocating. And when you begin to feel again, when you follow that pain with presence instead of resistance, it starts to dissolve. Not because you fixed it, but because you finally honored it. Most people are terrified to feel. They believe emotions are dangerous, that pain is weakness. But pain is precision. It tells you exactly where you're not aligned, exactly where the vibration became distorted, exactly where the lie began. And this isn't just emotional, it's cellular. You are not just feeling your emotions, you are becoming them. Your thoughts change your chemistry. Your feelings reshape your biology. And if you don't acknowledge what you feel, it shapes you in silence. There's a story that illustrates this in the most haunting way. A mother was breastfeeding her newborn. Everything appeared normal. She looked healthy. She smiled. But inside, she was full of unspoken rage and bitterness toward her partner. She never expressed it. She kept it down. But energy doesn't vanish. It transfers. That rage entered her milk, and the baby, still pure, still open, absorbed that vibration. Hours later, the child died. No medical explanation, no visible toxin, just energy, silent, dense, vibrating. This is not a horror story. It's a wake-up call. Because that kind of vibrational poisoning happens every day in small doses. In our homes, in our relationships, in our own bodies. We pass pain through our silence, through our pretending, through our "I'm fine," and it becomes part of our field, our breath, our voice, our presence, and it affects those around us, especially those most sensitive to energy. Children, lovers, the sick, the vulnerable. This is why awareness is not optional. It's the foundation of healing, because whether you know it or not, your body is always listening, always adjusting to your inner truth, not your outer performance. It doesn't care what you say. It cares what you feel, even in silence, even when you're alone, even when you're watching something, scrolling, breathing, resting. Your body is reacting to your frequency. And now, science is finally beginning to catch up. What mystics have whispered for ages is being confirmed in real time. Emotional states create immediate physiological changes. Your heart rhythm, your breath pattern, your immune function, your brain waves, all of it shifts with every emotion you feel, every memory you recall, every belief you hold. If you revisit a painful memory, your body floods with cortisol. If you imagine a future that frightens you, your muscles tense, your heart races. If you think thoughts of shame or guilt, your body suppresses immune responses. It's not symbolic, it's chemical, electrical, measurable. But science, even with all its data, still can't answer one question. What truly heals? What reverses the damage? What clears the imprint left by years of emotional pain? The answer isn't in a lab. It's in your field. It's in your breath. It's in your willingness to feel again, to return, to listen. The answer lives in the space beyond logic, in the subtle vibrations your body responds to every second. Thoth didn't need proof. He didn't need technology. He knew, he felt, and he passed that knowing down through a vibrational seal, a key that lives in you. And if you're still reading this, that seal is stirring. It's humming. It's waiting for you to recognize it. Not in your head, in your body. Because your healing won't begin when you understand the science. It'll begin the moment you stop running from the feeling. When you finally sit with the pain. When you hold the tension with love. When you let the tears come without shame. That's when the energy starts to shift. That's when the code begins to unlock. And that's when you remember, your body was never the problem. It was the portal, the message, the bridge back to your soul. And the moment you feel that, the healing has already begun. The symptoms in your body, your pain, tension, or illness, are not flaws or mistakes. They are not signs that something has gone wrong or that your body is failing you. These symptoms are intelligent signals, messages from deep within. They are how your soul communicates when words are no longer enough. Every sensation that repeats, every ache that lingers, every discomfort that rises again and again is not just a random event. It's a part of you asking to be heard. Thoth, the ancient teacher, understood this deeply. He taught that symptoms are not meant to be silenced. They are encrypted codes, hidden truths. They are the soul's language, speaking through matter, trying to bring your attention to something you've been avoiding. Each pain is like an unsaid sentence. Each inflammation, a trapped emotion. Each blockage, a part of your inner self struggling to be acknowledged. The body isn't trying to betray you. It's trying to help you. It speaks not with words, but with vibration. It doesn't speak logic or reason. It speaks through energy, through patterns, sensations, emotional echoes, and repetitive feelings. It speaks in a language that's ancient and internal, not taught in any school, not written in any book, and not passed through the mind. It comes from deep within, the place where your truth lives, Every time a symptom shows up repeatedly, it's the field of your being pointing to something unresolved, something unexpressed, something ignored for too long. And now it's too important to remain silent. When we respond to this with fear, with pills, with distractions, with resistance, we miss the message. But when we pause and ask, "What are you trying to show me?" everything begins to shift. The symptom is no longer a punishment. It becomes a guide, a signal, a riddle waiting to be solved. Your body holds a secret alphabet, a system of signs and signals that reflect your soul's vibration. When that vibration is distorted, when you carry fear, suppression, denial, grief, shame, your body mirrors it, not to hurt you, but to help you see. And when that distortion is heard and lovingly acknowledged, the body softens. The pain starts to loosen. Because the body does not want to hold on to pain, it holds on to it only when you don't. It holds it for you when you can't hold it for yourself. All your physical symptoms are tied to your emotional life. They are not separate. They are chapters of the same story. When emotions are repressed, they don't disappear. They transform. And when there's no emotional outlet, they spill into your body. That chronic back pain may be the emotional weight you've carried alone for years. That upset stomach may be your unspoken sorrow. That jaw tightness may be the words you swallowed to avoid conflict. These are not just metaphors. This is real. This is how energy behaves. This is how the body translates the vibration of your inner world into physical sensation. There is a vibrational map running through your body, but no one taught us how to read it. We were taught to silence pain, to fight it, to numb it, to escape it. We were never taught to listen. And so, the symptoms grew louder. But when we begin to translate this language, something subtle yet powerful happens. The body starts to trust you. The urgency fades. The pain shifts. The signal becomes clearer. And the field around you, the energetic structure that holds your being, begins to relax. This healing doesn't come from thinking harder or trying to analyze your way through it. It comes from presence, from feeling, from awareness, from the ability to sit with yourself and listen, not as a judge, but as a witness, not as someone trying to fix, but as someone willing to hear. Because your body is more than biology. It is an oracle. It is a mirror of all the energy you haven't yet embraced. To truly heal, you must stop judging your emotions, stop fixing your body like it's a broken machine, and instead start listening like someone hearing a sacred truth for the first time. That listening will awaken something inside you, a deep knowing, a silent truth, a vibration buried beneath layers of protection. That vibration is the beginning of a new language, a hidden alphabet that has lived inside you all along. It begins with a feeling, a single wordless recognition, and that one feeling, when fully allowed, begins to change everything. When you listen to yourself in that way, something within your energy structure begins to respond. Teach called it the mold. It's an invisible vibrational framework that holds the shape of your physical body. It's the blueprint that determines the condition of your health, your tissues, your organs, your entire being. And every second, as your body creates millions of new cells, they don't just appear out of nowhere. They follow a plan. And that plan is based on what the mold is holding. The mold, though unseen, is very real. It is constantly shaping your reality. The important question is, what is feeding that mold? If you're holding on to fear, resentment, self-doubt, or inherited trauma, that's what is being fed into the mold. And even if you eat well, meditate, or go to therapy, if that mold stays the same, your body will keep recreating symptoms from the same energetic blueprint. This is why physical healing often doesn't last. This is why you might feel like you've done everything right, but still don't feel right. Because the mold is still running on old information. The mold can be inherited, programmed in childhood, or absorbed unconsciously from those around you. But it is not fixed. It is alive. It can be changed. It responds to you. It listens to your thoughts, your feelings, your breath, your self-talk, your silence. It listens to whether you approach yourself with love or judgment, with fear or curiosity. Every moment of presence becomes a signal to the mold. And when that presence is coherent, when your thoughts, emotions, words, and actions are in harmony, the mold begins to update. That is where true healing happens. Not from just wanting to be healed, not from saying positive affirmations that don't match your inner world, but from aligning your vibration with truth. If you say, I am healed, but feel anxiety, the body hears the anxiety. If you say, I am grateful, but carry resentment, the body hears the resentment. Because the body responds to what is real. It listens to your field, not your mouth. This is why so many people struggle with self-healing. They try to say the right things but feel the wrong things. They try to force belief without doing the inner work to feel safe, honest, and connected. The body cannot be tricked. It is a mirror of truth. And when there's a gap between what you say and what you feel, the body follows the feeling. To shift your energy, everything must come into coherence. This means your words match your thoughts, which match your emotions, which match your actions. It doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest. Vibrational authenticity is more powerful than any surface-level affirmation. When you are aligned, fully and truthfully aligned, your words become instructions, your presence becomes medicine, and your vibration becomes a force that reorganizes reality. In that space of coherence, the body stops resisting, the nervous system calms, the mind slows down, time feels different, space opens up. What once felt like emotional chaos becomes a still, fertile silence. This is not imagination. This is a vibrational state that can be felt, measured, and known. It's a state where healing doesn't need to be pushed. It begins to unfold naturally, because the body remembers what to do. It's not broken. It simply needed the right signal. That signal is what Thoth called the vibration of origin, a pure, coherent state where energy and matter come into harmony. When you reach that state, your body understands that it is safe. And when the body feels safe, it no longer holds onto pain, tension, or defense. It begins to regenerate. This is what science now recognizes as heart coherence, parasympathetic activation, neuroplasticity. But Thoth knew it long ago, through symbols, through presence, through ritual. He knew the body doesn't need force. It needs remembrance. There is a living intelligence inside you. It already knows how to create organs, bones, blood, skin, and electricity. You don't need to tell it what to do. You only need to create the conditions where it can do what it already knows. That condition is trust, stillness, presence, and the body listens to all of it. When you reach that state, not only does your body change, your perception changes, your thoughts soften, your emotions find space. Reality begins to bend gently toward peace. You stop asking for healing and start being healing because your vibration is no longer chasing balance. It has become balance. And here's the quiet truth. This state has already touched you. Every time you sat in silence and felt a calm that didn't come from answers. Every time you breathed deeply and felt something loosen inside. Every time you paused and felt peace for no reason, you were touching it. You were remembering. You were opening the door. But the challenge is not in reaching this state. It's in staying there. Because the noise of the world pulls us back. Without continued presence, the field cannot hold the new vibration. That's why healing isn't just a moment. It's a practice. It's a way of living, a way of listening, a way of being. And when you begin to live in this state, the healing channel opens. But it doesn't open with drama or sound. It opens in silence, a stillness so deep that for a moment, time disappears. And in that silence, the body begins to remember its original design, not through effort, but through the absence of noise. This is what Teach called the invisible doorway, a sacred threshold where everything begins to change, not because you fought for healing, but because you surrendered to truth, because you stopped resisting yourself. And finally, you listened. You don't see it, but you move through it every day. This silence isn't around you. It's inside you. It isn't just the absence of sound. It's the moment when your thoughts grow still, when your mind stops commenting on everything, when you no longer judge, label, or try to control. It's when your breath flows naturally without effort, when you watch without trying to explain, when you feel without needing to understand. It's the space where your being returns to itself. And in that inner stillness, something begins to happen that can't be forced, rushed, or manufactured. The body enters a natural state of openness, a vibration so soft and receptive that even long-held pain, emotional patterns, buried traumas, and old conditioning start to dissolve, not because you're fighting them, but because they simply can't survive in the presence of true awareness. They lose their grip not through struggle, but through stillness. This process of returning to inner silence reveals a hidden key: surrender. But this surrender isn't weakness or defeat. It's not giving up on life or giving in to pain. It's the kind of surrender that says, I trust. It's the kind of surrender that lets go of control and allows what's deepest in you to rise without resistance. It's not about making something happen. It's about allowing what's already inside you to finally emerge. The moment you stop trying to force change is the moment change begins. The more you try to fix yourself, the more stuck you feel. The more you let go, the more is revealed. Because your body was designed to heal. You don't have to teach it what to do. You just have to stop interfering. You have to step out of the way. Breathing with awareness is one of the most ancient tools for healing. But it's not the air that changes you. It's the state the breath reveals. When you inhale with peace and exhale with presence, something deep in your body begins to relax. You become like an open channel, a quiet space where the field around you can begin to reorganize. The energy that once felt blocked begins to flow. The tension begins to release. The body responds, not because you're trying to fix something, but because you're allowing space for something sacred to move. And in that space, the spirit doesn't come as a concept. It comes as a real force, a living vibration, an intelligence that doesn't need your thoughts to function. It simply needs your full, open presence. And the most beautiful part is that it doesn't take effort to activate. All it needs is for you to be there, truly there, not pretending, not performing, not chasing. Just you, raw, whole, honest, with nothing to prove. In that moment, healing is not something you do. Healing becomes what you are. You're no longer trying to become whole. You are being returned to wholeness. Even in these moments of deep surrender, many people feel something pulling them back, something invisible yet strong, as if an unseen weight is holding them down, as if healing is happening, but not fully landing, as if something inside is sabotaging the process just when everything starts to feel right. This isn't just your imagination. It's a real energy, and it has a name: fear and guilt. Not the obvious kind of fear that screams, not the dramatic guilt that crushes, but the subtle kind, the kind that hides in your business, in your stress, in your constant sense that something isn't quite right. It's the silent fear that says, if I change, I won't be safe. It's the quiet guilt that whispers, I don't deserve to feel better. These energies are like background noise in your vibrational field. They don't need words. They don't even need to be conscious. They simply exist, humming underneath everything, quietly interrupting your ability to fully receive the healing that is already trying to reach you. And the painful truth is that these feelings don't always begin with you. Many of them are inherited, passed down through generations, stored in silence. These are not just emotional patterns. They are energetic legacies, vibrational codes passed through your family line, through your culture, through collective trauma. You didn't choose them, but you carry them. You didn't create them, but they live in your field. Ideas and emotions that don't belong to you but feel like they do. Fear that never started with you. Guilt that was never about your actions. But your body doesn't know the difference. It feels the vibration, and it believes it's yours. These inherited energies are what some call ancestral mental currents. Old patterns running like invisible rivers through your system. They distort your natural vibration. They weaken your signal. They confuse your body's ability to self-heal because they interfere with your sense of worth. They tell your system, you're not ready. You're not safe. You don't deserve to feel peace. And even though your mind may be doing all the right things, meditating, breathing, practicing self-care, these deeper signals keep telling your body the opposite. So nothing truly sticks. It's like trying to build a house on shifting sand. And the tricky part is that these poisons don't show up in physical tests. You won't hear them in your voice, but they appear in your habits, in your emotional patterns, in the way you constantly delay your own healing, in the way you tell yourself you'll rest later, that you can't slow down now, that it's selfish to take care of yourself. Every one of those statements is a program, an inherited story that tells your body it must keep waiting, that it's not time yet, that it needs permission to feel free. But healing doesn't come with permission. It comes with release. And release isn't only about letting go of emotions. It's about undoing the energetic contracts that say you must suffer to be loved, that you must carry pain to be seen, that you must repeat the old story to feel safe. This is the point where so many people feel stuck. They've done the work, they've practiced the tools, but they haven't yet broken the invisible agreements that keep the old pain in place. But there is a way to break those chains. There is a frequency that dissolves them without effort, without struggle. It's the frequency of unconditional love, not a love between people, but the vibrational state of love itself, the force that melts resistance, a light that burns through illusion, a silence that carries power. This frequency doesn't speak in words. It speaks in vibration. It doesn't ask you to believe. It asks you to allow. And when it arrives, something happens that no technique can cause. You stop rejecting yourself. You stop trying to edit your story. You stop trying to be fixed. And instead, you see everything you've lived as sacred. Not perfect, not easy, but sacred. Every wound, every failure, every heartbreak, each had its place. And in that recognition, something long buried begins to emerge. A new vibration. A vibration that touches your pain not to erase it, but to dissolve the suffering attached to it. The memory remains, but the sting is gone. That's when your nervous system starts to relax. Your immune system begins to reset. Your entire body receives a new command: restore. And the body listens, not because you said the right words, but because you finally entered the right frequency, a frequency of coherence. And when that coherence lands, everything changes. Your thoughts align with your body. Your emotions match your actions. Your field becomes clean and connected. The vibration you emit is no longer broken or scattered. It becomes whole. And that wholeness doesn't just heal you. It begins to transform everything around you. This is not wishful thinking. This is now proven by science. Emotional states like gratitude and compassion activate healing on a cellular level. They create measurable changes in the heart, in the brain, in the genes. But long before science discovered this, the ancient ones already knew. They knew that love is not just a feeling, it's the organizing force of the universe. And when you align with it, the body no longer needs healing, because it starts healing itself. But there's one more piece, one that many overlook. This frequency only reveals itself to those who are willing to see without masks, who are willing to face themselves with honesty, without comparison, without shame, without trying to be more than they are. It asks for realness. It asks for truth. It asks you to look at yourself the way God does, not with judgment, but with awe. And when that happens, something awakens in you, not a symbol drawn on your skin, but a living frequency, a vibrational seal that says, I have remembered who I am. This seal can't be forced. It doesn't come through rituals or mantras. It comes through presence, through surrender, through becoming the one who is no longer seeking, because they've already found the truth within. When you carry this seal, life changes, not because you tried to change it, but because your energy shifts the space around you. People feel it. Doors open. Your body relaxes. You feel lighter, not because something outside you changed, but because you stopped living from fear. You stopped vibrating with guilt. And once those frequencies leave your system, the healing that always wanted to happen finally flows. But here's the challenge. Many people touch this state and then fall back into the old pattern. They remember their light for a moment, then forget again. Why? Because the mind can't hold what the spirit revealed if the body is still holding on to the past. That's why the key is not just to awaken this energy, it's to sustain it, to turn your life into a temple where this energy can live every day, not through perfection, not through effort, but through devotion, through remembering again and again that you are the miracle, you are the source, you are the healing, you are the temple. And when that truth settles, healing is no longer something you do, it's something you are. You become a frequency, a vibration, a quiet, glowing pulse in the universe that changes everything, not by trying, but by being. You don't need to seek light. You are the light. You don't need to chase healing. You are the field in which healing happens. And the stories that once defined you no longer stick. The pain that once controlled you no longer has a place to land. Because you're no longer vibrating with the past. You're vibrating with the original design. The one you were always meant to live. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to fix yourself. Just breathe. Just be present. Let your silence speak. Let your coherence reorganize your biology. Let your truth rewire your reality. You don't need rituals. You don't need validation. You only need to remember. You were never broken. You were only forgetting. And now, you remember. If you feel this truth moving inside you, if you feel something awakening, don't push it away. Say it. Anchor it. Write it. I am the living temple of healing. Let that be your declaration, not just for yourself, but for others who need to hear it. And know this, you are not alone. You've stepped into a frequency that cannot be undone. And once it's felt, it begins to reshape everything. The seal lives in you now. The vibration is active. The miracle is not coming. It's already here. You are it.